Welcome to the Moon podcast. Your host, as always, Josh Lander, on this fun Top Shot ride with you guys. It's been a little bit since we've spoken last about Top Shot. A lot's happened. We always talk about how Top Shot moves at a very fast rate. So lots happened. A lot can happen in a small amount of time, and a lot has since we last spoke. I'm going to bring on my buddy Oliver, who we've had on here before. He's someone who's, I think, really good right now to have on to speak specifically to sort of someone, the perspective of someone who's still very bullish on Top Shot, as we've seen some people, wane a bit in their sort of passion, their enthusiasm for what's going on. We always talk about how there was that big spike last February. A lot of people got in around that time, saw nothing but great return on their cards that they purchased, no matter what they did. Even if they just blindly started selecting cards, they were likely to go up. That is not the case anymore. Some people are frustrated by that. But others like Ali are still very bullish on what's going on. I'm still, very much looking to see where I can spend some money when there's some value in cards as well. So, there'll be some good conversation there for people who are still really, really into this and not just looking to get packs and sell them off. But that is what's been happening recently, just to give a little bit of a sort of, temperature gauge of what's going on in the marketplace in general, in the entire Top Shot environment. We've seen an injection of new cards. We got a Cool Cats pack just last week when we're shooting this video. And that means more cards, more base set cards that are going to be a part of that pack from Series 2 from this season. And then, more Cool Cats cards, indicating there's a new challenge reward. So what we're seeing right now is people buying those packs because that's where the value is, as we've spoken about. Getting a $14 pack with 4 cards in it, you're definitely going to make your money back at the very least. But people are coming in just looking to do that, get packs, not be active in any other way in the marketplace. And then what happens is those challenge cards, those Cool Cats cards that maybe they are, a few less in the edition. Maybe there's 10,000, 15,000. So it's a pretty decent, cool set pack or card as a part of the Cool Cats pack. Those would normally be going for a decent price, but people are just getting the packs and looking to sell their cards, including their challenge cards, those Cool Cats packs. So they're just undercutting each other to sell their Drew Holiday Cool Cats, their Kristaps Porzingis Cool Cats, whatever, where normally those would be a little bit more highly valued and not sold for such a cheap price. But we've just got a lot of people looking to flip, make a quick buck, and probably hop out or at least cash out as fast as they can. And other people, such as Ali, who we're about to bring on, they're still as a part of that smaller percentage of people that are looking to buy cards. At last look, in terms of the difference in sellers versus buyers in the marketplace, as recently as last week, once again at this recording of this video, buyers were outnumbered by sellers at a percentage of about 38% to 62%. Of people who were selling, looking to sell cards, right? So there's still a big disparity there in the amount of people who are looking to sell versus looking to buy. Meaning people are going to continue to undercut each other for a lower price to make sure they can get their card sold. But let's bring in, as I mentioned, Ali, who is someone who we are going to ask about. What is his strategy now? Despite being bullish, there's a lot of need to sort of tweak strategy here and there. So we're going to see exactly what he's doing now that it's not just a free for all, and buying needs to be a little bit more specific. So what's up, man? How are you doing?
Good, man. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for coming on.
Of course. Always happy to be here.
Yeah. So I was telling everybody I was setting you up as someone who is still bullish, someone that we can still look to talk about this in a positive light, and actually probably look to ask you a little bit of, what you're seeing right now. Are you finding some value as someone who still wants to have, a nice collection, that kind of stuff? So just to start off, let us know, what's been going on the last couple of weeks for you specifically in Top Shot, and how your account's doing, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So just like most of you guys, my account's kind of like middling, kind of on the decline, but long-term point of view, I'm still looking for like long-term holds. So instead of buying the short-term, maybe like the rookies that I think are going to pop off in the short term in the next couple of months, I'm looking more at the long-term legends, more like the LeBron Jameses, the Chris Pauls, and even a little bit of the short-term view of like who's going to pop up in playoffs. Mm-hmm. So in that case, it's more like maybe a Donovan Mitchell. The sweet spot would be something like a Jamal Murray from last year. Obviously, he's not going to be in playoffs this year, but someone like that who shows up and like takes that next step. Mm-hmm. Off the top of my head, I'm looking at Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum. I want the Trailblazers to do well. And yeah, but generally for the most part, I'm just stacking my LeBron moments and just kind of buying it on the way down.
Yeah. No, I feel you. And that's Probably a good play, I guess, if you're looking at, like you said, the longer term. And when we say long term, I think we are saying at least a couple of years here, right? Like this is for some people who, if you're looking to make money, and that's really your only goal here, you could probably make a quick buck here and there if you wanted to get in, flip some stuff. If you want to make money in a way that's meaningful of any kind, you need to be holding those cards for a lot of the stuff that's coming that we talk about. Dapper having a lot more marketing efforts and paid, media support from the NBA, things of that nature. So that's all to come. But I guess no matter what, we should, hone in a little bit on the now and say, it used to be that not that long ago, you could just go in, close your eyes, click on a card and
Hmm.
make some money. I basically said a chimp with a computer could make money back in February if you were on Top Shots.
Yep.
But at this point, there's a little bit more strategy. So I guess to your point, if you're looking at being in this a little bit longer than just the next, 6 months or the end of this season or what have you, and you do believe in this and you want to continue to be a part of it next season as well, what's some strategy right now that's, an intelligent play in terms of the difference between rookie cards or are those 35,000 still circulating count edition cards? Are those worth having as they continue to get injected into the marketplace? What's some stuff that you're eyeing there?
I'm just looking at the very top players like LeBron James, Damian Lillard. Like I was saying, just the top players who I think will last longer than just this season. Who do you think is going to have a great season, next year and the year after? Who's going to have a nice legacy?
Mm-hmm.
Looking at people who might make the 2K cover one day, something
Mm-hmm.
cool like that. Anything that keeps a player, being talked about throughout the years, way down the line. I think that's worth holding and holding in
Mm-hmm.
your collection. Think about if you
Totally.
had like a basketball card collection too. Who would you want in that collection? LeBron James is definitely there, so that's why I'm always buying him. There's never a bad time to buy LeBron James, I think.
Totally. Yeah, and I fully agree with that. And there's a couple of things to dissect in what you said there. One is just getting back to the point of this is supposed to be fun. So if you are just in it and you're getting stressed about ROI and it's just about money, etc., then yeah, figure out a way to get out. And this probably isn't for you. But for those of us who are like, oh man, I really like this guy, I really like this, this team or what have you. You're going to look to like get those at a good price, right? So that's one is just if you're in this to have fun, then this is for you. If you're just upset about money at this point, this isn't for you. So it doesn't really matter.
Yep.
The other point is, to who you like. Yeah, you can like Maxi Kleber, but I don't know if there's much reason to think that his cards are going to jump in value anytime soon. He'll always just be a role player, and he might not even be on the Mavs soon enough. So at any, someone like that, you can like him as much as you want, but don't look for that to necessarily rise too much in value. But some of the plays that I'm making to like hone in on some stuff, like you mentioned rookies for sure. I'm loving the idea of rookie cards, especially since there's been badges added, and now it's very easy to identify who is a rookie and if this card was made in their rookie season.
Right.
I'm also looking at just players that I love, honestly, at this point, and specifically, I'm a Knicks fan. I'm looking at Emmanuel quickly. I'm looking at Pokashevsky on the Thunder
Ooh,
because I
nice.
love that dude, right?
Really nice.
And he just had his first card mint, so it's at a 4,000. I'm monitoring that thing like a hawk right
Yep.
now, honestly.
Yep.
And then just other guys like Julius Randle. I'm really eyeing his initial card, and then
Love
just
it.
throwing my fandom in there. I love James Harden. I've had an up and down relationship with him, but I
Sure.
love him as a basketball player and as just what he's able to do. And I love more than anything his highlight of his block last year in the playoffs against the Thunder.
Ooh.
Love
Yep.
that highlight. And
On
it used to
Dort.
be
Yep.
like 2 to 3 grand. I'm seeing it right now around $300. So, just to make clear, $300 might be a good amount of money. But if you invest a little bit in this to play around and have fun, hopefully for me, I've at least at this point been able to withdraw. I've got, most of my initial investment back and have some money to play around with. So I'm looking at different ways to consolidate my money by selling what I need to and then putting it into those cards that I really like. And I also can see rise in value because it's Julius Randle's first card. It's Emmanuel Quickly's first card, etc. Right?
Yeah, I think there's something to be said about that too. You're like, especially the hardened block, that's like putting something into something that's way more scarce, and it's something that you're seeing 35,000 minted moments. That one's like less than 3,000. It's a really rare. It's by all accounts a rare card nowadays. So
Mm-hmm.
not only that, it's a legendary moment itself. I think you should always look at moments that are very memorable that you remember seeing on TV and having an emotional connection with. Again, just
Totally.
things that you really enjoy. And then to that point too, I do think it's really valuable to just identify the moments that you really like and just watch the price. Even if
Right.
it's going down, maybe it's not the time for you to buy it, but maybe when that $300 moment becomes 250, maybe that's enough for you to pull the trigger. So I'm a
100%.
huge fan of just, I don't think they have it in their roadmap yet, but they have to eventually develop like a watch list, right?
Right.
Um, as of now, it's a very manual thing, but you have those moments that speak out to you that you can check yourself, and eventually, you'll figure out what's a good point for you to buy.
100%. And I was, at one point I was going crazy, had, maybe 80 moments in my collection, and I was trying to track all of them and track cards, a lot of different cards similar to them, just because I was like, oh, it's KD, oh, it's LeBron or whatever. And that's fine to a degree, but I've actually narrowed that down to just here's the five that I like really want. And I become someone who's
Hmm.
like, I get it, man. I get the fun in this. I get the sort of affinity that you feel towards certain cards and players. And
Hmm.
those are the ones that I'm going to go after, right? So I'm fully there with you. And then obviously, no matter what, if it's LeBron, if it's KD, guys like that, Steph Curry, Zion, like you can feel good about that no matter what. And I think we all love those dudes. Like they make up that, the core of the NBA. So
Of course.
diving a little bit deeper into why we are being a little bit more, careful, pragmatic, if you will, with which cards we buy these days, and not feeling as much sort of freedom to just go $600 for Kevin Durant card. Great, let's get it because I think that's probably going to go up. Like we have to be a little bit more, poignant about it, right? So,
Right.
with that in mind, I think I'm just looking at the reasons why. I just kind of wanted your take a little bit on what Dapper Labs and the Top Shot team are doing in terms of injecting new cards, creating new packs and challenges. And what your take is on that, right? And so specifically, I was mentioning that the Cool Cats pack just came in, right? That means we've got a new challenge. We've got more Cool Cats cards that are like supposed to be special, but we've seen a lot of the special factor decrease in a lot of different sets and cards.
Yep.
And then you've also got more base set series 2, 35,000 CC cards coming into the marketplace via these packs as well, alongside the Cool Cats cards, right? And
Yep.
my initial reaction is like, oh, cool. Now there's going to be new Cole Anthony cards minted that we just heard. Those are going to be injected into the marketplace, meaning my existing Cole Anthony cards are going to drop about da 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 da. Right. So, just how do you feel about that, and what are you kind of looking to see from them moving forward, in your hopes for this whole thing?
Yeah, yeah. On that note of challenges, I think challenge fatigue is a big thing. When I first started in Top Shot, it was always worth it to go for a challenge and kind of gamble on the serial number you're going to get. You could get like a top 10 serial number on a reward.
Hmm.
Nowadays, I think the challenge moments aren't as cool as they used to be. Or the one that comes to mind most recently is the Anthony Edwards dunk. That one, dunk of the year candidate. That was a really nice moment. But they need more moments like that to save for these challenges in order
Hmm.
to reward the collectors who actually go for them.
Hmm.
And in terms of the supply side, I think the supply is always going to be a bad thing for the short term in terms of costs. Yeah, your Cole Anthony is probably going to tank a little bit because there's more options for a Cole Anthony fan
Hmm.
to go out and buy the cheaper one. However, over the long term, I think that's where you need to keep an eye on what kind of moments are really valuable. For instance, if you have the Cole Anthony game winner, I think that's a really nice long term hold. It's an iconic moment for his. If he becomes a really great player one day, and he's on his way, he could eventually have a really nice moment there, a game winner from his rookie season.
Hmm.
So that's where you're gonna have to take that into account.
Yep.
And on the other side, I think there's a lot of like market inefficiencies that Dapper's trying to hammer out, which is why they're trying to focus so much on withdrawals. With all these new accounts coming in and not having a withdrawability in an
Hmm.
efficient market, you should be able to put your money in, make a bet on a couple players, cash out in the short term right away, and
Hmm.
and that's it, right? But now, that we're not quite at that point, and Dapper's working really quickly to get to that point. And once we do get there, I think the market's going to be a lot more efficient. Like we'll see
Hmm.
the prices go up with insane plays eventually,
Hmm.
and also given enough new membership too. I think that's
Yep.
what what they're all working towards.
Right. Yeah. It seems like some things like the limit on signups has gone down. There was pretty much, just enter at will for a little bit. I don't know if that's sort of stop it. I remember a couple of days ago that was the case for at least some period of time. So, yeah, all those things are going to add up to people feeling a lot more secure in the entire environment in general, right? And
Hmm.
not have that fear that, they're not going to get their money out in time before their cards drop in value, et cetera. So, and that's all this is just fear that people have, and then they just want to jump out. But I will say there's nothing wrong with taking money that you've made in the marketplace putting it back in your wallet. If you want that money, to be in your bank account, you're well within your right to do that. You should be able to do that, to your point, so that you feel comfortable coming back and participating after you've just seen some money come back into your bank account, which we all love, right?
That's
So,
right.
I guess in your eyes, is there anything that you're looking for to help the long-term vision? Obviously, we all know things like, like we said, increased budget for marketing, increased support from the NBA and NBA players who continue to participate more and more deeply in general. So outside of those things, in terms of actual, market moves that Top Shot can make with the cards that they can mint, and even any sort of structures of how they format things in the entire environment, are there anything you're looking for that you hope for, or that you're like, please don't do that because this will fuck it all up for all of us?
Yeah, I mean, limit the supply for sure. Be thoughtful about the moments that come on. I think in the beginning, the team had a maybe not so great foray into basketball. There were some moments that are being minted that are kind of just like, why is this even like a memorable thing?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think what I'm really excited about is once we start seeing stadium access again, how do you integrate the like fan experience with ownership of moments?
Mm-hmm.
Roham, the CEO, has hinted about this many times. Just like, okay, let's say you have a Top Shot account. Once you go into the stadium and you have this Top Shot account, what does it give you access to? It would be
Mm-hmm.
amazing if you had like a very rare Halliburton moment that gave you, that put you in the drawing to do like a meet and greet with him after the
Mm-hmm.
game. Something like that would be incredible. And I think
For
they
sure.
do have these kinds of things in mind. It's just a matter of how they execute it.
Yep.
I think that's like just the utility of it. Beyond just owning the moments and being happy with these awesome digitals that you have on your phone or on your computer, what else can you get with them? And there's so many things that they can do with it, and there's so many different avenues they can go down. Um, what I just pitched was just an example, but they can do so much with it, and I hope they do it right.
Yeah, that's going to be. I think you're 100% right. I fully agree. I think it's utility entirely. What are you doing with these cards that gives them value outside of just having fun with them as NFTs in this marketplace, right? So fully agree with that, man. That is all the time that we have for today. Any parting words for everyone?
Yeah, if you have a Top Shot moment that you've connected with, and you probably have if you're listening to this or watching this, think about the long term. It's just the beginning, and again, I always say this, but continue to have fun because it's as new moments come in, as you watch the marketplace grow, it's always you're always learning something new, and your collections are hopefully getting bigger and better. So yeah, continue to have fun, and continue to learn.
100%. Yep, I'm with it. Appreciate the time, man. As always, we'll talk to you soon, I'm sure. Have a great rest of the day.
Thanks, man. You too.
Cool. That is all the time we have for today, y'all. Appreciate you guys. As always, make sure you are liked and subscribed to the page. Jump in those comments. Let us know, me specifically, what it is that you'd like to talk about on NBA Top Shot, any topics that you're looking for, questions that you have that I can sort of, incorporate into the show. Happy to, sort of leave some time always for some reading of some questions. If you guys leave them in those comments, I'll definitely be in there reading those and continuing to try to have some fun along this Top Shot journey as we try to take this thing to the moon.